Today, I'm here to share my thoughts on a game that has been getting quite a bit of attention and I myself have been putting quite a bit of time into. It takes the formula of games like Stardew Valley and Graveyard Keeper and puts its own unique spin on it to give us a combination that has never been seen before. But is it a true Nintendo Switch Game of the Year contender, or just another dud trying to live up to past games? Well, let's get into it, shall we? The game in question is Potion Permit. Potion Permit is a life simulation and management style game in the same vein as Stardew Valley and Graveyard Keeper, where you play as a chemist and make medicines. Have you ever wanted to be a doctor without the time and money investment and none of the responsibility? Well, this game might just be for you. In Potion Permit, you play as a chemist who is called in from the city by the mayor of a small town to help find a cure for his daughter's illness. And it all culminates in you becoming what is essentially the town doctor. The medicine of their town isn't enough to save her, so they have no choice but to rely on the player. Everyone in town dislikes the chemist and can't seem to trust you. Pretty rude, right? I mean, we just got there, we haven't done anything wrong. As you play through the game, you try to earn the town people's trust by taking care of them when they get sick, and you slowly learn why they distrust you so much. The game doesn't go too crazy with the story, but it definitely provides an interesting little mystery that you'll want to know more about. First thing I really want to talk about is the performance. On the Nintendo Switch, it runs fairly well. I didn't run into any bugs or crashes to speak of, which I think may have been an issue for people who played the game early, like early access. Sometimes with these games, I'm afraid there'll be a ton of small issues, especially when I see other people mention these issues, but this game pleasantly surprised me. One thing I did encounter though, was the game lagging to the point where it essentially stopped every once in a while. The game is definitely playable, but that's something to watch out for. Visually, there's nothing too crazy about the game, but the designs are all unique and fitting to the setting. So now, let's get into the character creator. While it doesn't have a crazy amount of options, the ones it does have really surprised me. This game is probably the closest I've ever come to recreating my look in a game. I'm so used to games either having limited options or having a ton but nothing that fits my look. This game had the right hair color and even the right clothing color, which is more than I can say for a game like Stardew Valley. In fact, now that I think about it, this might be the first game to do so. I feel it will be the same way for others as well. The average day in this game will have you gathering materials, working towards whatever objective you have at the time. You collect these materials from chopping down trees, cutting down plants, destroying rocks, and even fighting animals. You throw these materials into a giant cauldron and craft whatever potions or item you need. Pretty simple, right? Well, guess again. Whenever you want to craft items, you play a puzzle minigame where you try to complete the given shape with no overlap, using whatever materials you have on hand. There are multiple combinations, so you must use your brain to find one possible combination, and if you don't have the materials, that just means you need to go back out hunting. As you progress through the game, these puzzles become more and more difficult. The number of materials you're allowed to use will decrease. Every day, there is the possibility that someone from the town will be in need of medical care. To diagnose whatever illness they have, you'll be required to play various types of mini-games, ranging from a memory game to even a rhythm game, making sure not to make any mistakes or it will cost you. Successfully curing a townsperson will boost your relationship with that person and give you plenty of other bonuses. You'll have to examine them and gather the materials for whatever medicine they might need, and a lot of the time, there's more than one thing wrong with them. Your reputation around town relies completely on how well you perform in these situations. Curing a townsperson will boost your relationship with that person and give you plenty of other bonuses. To collect materials, you're given a hammer, a scythe, and an axe. There's also a fishing rod that you can only use in certain areas and with the right bait. To be honest, it took me forever to figure out how to use a fishing rod. You can also use these items to fight monsters. Basically, with these tools, you have one button, and you mash and slash until you get what you want. There's also a dodge button in the game, but honestly I never felt the need to use it. The enemy attacks in this game are pretty slow and telegraphed, so they can be very easy to avoid in my opinion. Another goal in this game is to upgrade your equipment and your clinic. This allows you to spend less stamina when collecting, as well as other bonuses. While we're on the subject of gameplay, let's not forget the best feature of the game, our dog. In this game you have a dog that will follow you around and he can actually help you out with a few things. For example, if you're trying to find a townsperson but don't know where they are, the dog can sniff them out and bring you right to the person. Pretty neat, right? When you start the game, you're prompted to name your dog and it is your companion for life. You need to feed it and take care of it throughout the day as you would a real dog. The additions the dog brings are great and in my opinion should be a staple in all sim games. Like, imagine if you could just sniff out anyone's location in other games like Stardew Valley and instantly be taken to them. Now for the feature I'm sure you were all waiting for, the romance. We don't always get this feature in management sim games, but I'm proud to share that we do in this game. Potion Permit has 6 candidates for you to choose from, all with their own stories and personalities, and you can marry the male and female candidates no matter what you pick when creating your character. These characters range from the mayor's daughter to pirates. There is truly someone for everyone. You can boost your relationship with the candidates and other townspeople by talking to them every day or giving them items, and each time you level up your relationship, you have an event that gives you a bit of their backstory. While this is a very enjoyable game, it's not without its flaws. The performance issues I mentioned earlier, for example. Now, getting into the actual game itself, I honestly felt it was a bit shallow compared to something like Stardew Valley. Every day is fairly identical, with the one change being whether or not someone's sick or if you have a quest that requires you to collect a certain item. To befriend people, there's only one item and everyone loves it equally. It seems to be a growing trend of farming games that I do not like. The enemies are all easy to beat because the moves are so telegraphed, and all of the minigames for the medical treatment part of the game are easy to the point where you probably mess up. I also want to say that the DLC is pretty ridiculous, like paying $2 for an aquarium or a plush that are just for decoration in your room. There are 18 pieces of DLC like this, and I really do not recommend buying them because you're really not getting anything from them. Now, for DLC that would actually add to the game, I don't think they've announced anything at the moment. This is a shame though, because the game is really good and could really benefit from a bit more content. Like, if they could just expand on the content we already have a bit and give us a bit more to do every day, this game would be perfect. Now, if you want something super simple and relaxing, that could be for you. While this game may not be Game of the Year, it's definitely one of the better management sim games we've gotten in a while. For $20, it's definitely worth the price. Let me know in the comments if this is a game you'd like to check out. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more sim game content. See you next time.